yourselves.
Well, welcome. We've done this before, so cruise number 3. How's it been going this time around?
Good, loving it. Very, very nice indeed, yeah.
Pretty calm seas, though, during the 2 performances that you did.
Yeah.
There's still 2 days to go.
I took my Dramamine, I don't know about you. I want to go quickly, I want to deal with 2 things in the present. We all returned to our cabins last night, and there was a nice little surprise on the door that the Moody Blues are going to be doing a residency in Las Vegas. 5 shows from October 7th through the 15th at the Venetian Hotel. So anybody want to chime in and talk about that? What can we expect? Will it be something different from a typical tour show? Sometimes they like to do things a little bit bigger there in Sin City.
Well, I'll be having my birthday there, so personally. But then I often have my birthday on the road, so. But it'd be nice to have friends and family there as well. That'd be nice. Yeah. We always have a good time. I think the whole, show business community has always treated us well in Vegas and made us very welcome. And we look forward to it very much. I think it's a place where the people who love the Moody's, we can all be in one place for a while and maybe do some events like this as well. That would be nice too. Just some neat things.
And you can get to see the latest circus, Solier. I love that show. Both shows, yeah.
And we won't be on a ship. You could all be on a gondola.
Rowing through the imaginary canal, the Venetian Hotel. And the other thing I wanted to, not to say get out of the way, but it is new. You do have a new member of the touring ensemble, Billy Ashbaugh on drums, and we all got to witness his first 2 shows. And as I mentioned to Justin backstage last night, it's a different feel, and seems to be some reinvigoration in certain songs. But how did he come to the fold? Where did you find Billy from?
Well, Gordy was leaving. He told us he was leaving, and then I was in LA doing some solo things, and I auditioned. I set up 3 drummers that I really knew about and auditioned them. None of them really worked. They were all great players, but nothing worked. So I decided to do it through, actually I was just going through the internet and then looking at a company that fixed up transport and stuff for drummers, and Billy was on that list of the drummers so I just went through the list looking at really good drummers, and because you can find everything now about pieces of film about them and watching them play. And so Alan and I asked Billy if he could film himself doing a couple of songs, which most drummers are up for now. Just with a little GoPro cam or something like that. And actually we asked 2 or 3 guys, and Billy, I just kept coming back to Billy's playing was just so sweet, and I just thought it empathized so much with Graham's. He had the same kind of feel and sound, and I just thought it was going to be a perfect fit. So it happened over the internet, and I'm so glad that it worked out. So far it's working out. But he's a lovely boy. And I know everybody here will make him welcome. Yes.
So Ringo or Charlie Watts didn't want to be bothered filming themselves?
They begged, we said no.
They kept calling, but I said, no, I don't want to take it, stop calling me.
And real quickly, for you, Graham and John, the rhythm section and working with a new drummer, I mean, Gordy was there 25 years, a long time. I'm sure you were used to certain things. How's it been now for the last week or so? You did some rehearsing up in Nashville, did the 2 shows.
Well, he's good. He knows what he's doing, and he's, as Justin said, he's concept of drumming is similar to mine. He tunes his drums to get the sound of the shout right, not to get the skin the right tension to use stick bounce to get your little clever tricks in. He plays like me, more melodic.
Yeah.
And it fits together nicely.
Yeah, for me, what's really important is the bass drum work, because that's where the drive of the Moody Blues comes from. And so I'm listening, and Billy's got it all together. I couldn't believe it. The first day of rehearsals, he got everything right. He got the right feel, and it made it easy for us because we just went through the whole show, and we didn't stop. We did the whole 2.25-hour show in one rehearsal. Couldn't believe it.
Well, I've already done it with him.
Yeah,
2 days
so it's
before.
brilliant. So it's really well.
Myself.
Yeah, well, somebody had to.
All right, well, that takes care of the present day, and now we will rewind the clock. We were talking, trying to figure out, what to talk about this time, and it happens to be that it is the 50th anniversary of both John and Justin joining the band. So in 2014, when we last left our Cape Crusaders here on the stage, and one of the stories was, Graham, you're going to have to jump in here, but there was a point where the first incarnation of the Moody Blues, prior to Justin and John, in the back of a van, and somebody said that, something with a promoter telling you guys that basically you sucked.
That was after.
Oh, no, Josh was in the band.
We sucked. We sucked after. We sucked when John and I were in the band.
That's what we joined.
We've been suckers for
They
a
were
long
great
time.
before. They were really good before we joined.
Yeah. We had a hit record before we turned up.
All right, well then, Graham, tell me what was going on there in '66. There were obviously some changes. The band was at a crossroads. And what was your involvement in trying to find some replacements to come in, and the stroke of luck to end up with these two gentlemen?
I'm speechless. That's a first. I'm trying to gather it all together. It's 50 years ago. Because you told me you were going to ask questions, and I had it all nicely lined up. When it started on the Thursday, and you come right to the end. How did it all break up? And well, basically, Clint Warwick. Basically, as everybody does in the business, we had a management team that stole all our money and disappeared. So we were broke, and in quite severe debt. In fact, for about the first 2 years, everywhere Justin John went with us, we had to pay 2 hotel bills, the one where we were staying and the one where we'd stayed before. That went down like a cup of cold sick. Where was I there? Oh yeah, so Clint Warwick had to leave because he had a wife and a child that required food. And so and that kind of put a bit of a stress on things. We got this young lady on here. I never knew I can't remember his name. I can barely remember my name. But he was only with us for about 6 weeks, and then he decided he was going to go and form some kind of string orchestra band thing. And me, Ray, and Mike Pinder sort of decided we were going to sew something back together, and I believe it was Ray who was in a nightclub, Eric Burton, who was reforming the Animals. He'd got a whole bunch of lead guitarists and bass guitarists and drummers and stuff like that to form his band, and he let Ray have his choice, and we put in our thumb and pulled out a plug. Look at that.
And no, go ahead.
Who, me?
No, letting Graham finish.
I haven't got around to John yet.
No, I thought you
Because
were looking at me.
John and Ray and Mike had played together in a band called El Root and the Rebel. It was actually El Riot and the Rebels. We all knew them as El Root and the Rebel. And so they were close friends, and John was always going to be sort of in the M&B5, which we originally were, but he wanted to stay on to finish his schooling, which has been very useful to him. The fact that he knows how to design refrigerators has been a godsend all his life. And so he came along sort of almost automatically. And then we met a guy who came, I'm so good with names. Who was the guy that took us over to...
Ricky Steen took us over to Belgium.
That's it, yeah.
Yeah, and he offered us some gigs. Well, he offered us a place to stay, didn't he? A place to live. Which is more important, yes. And some gigs.
Yeah, because back then, I don't know if you had it in America, but in England, they used to deliver the milk to your door, and you could buy bread and cheese and eggs, as well as milk off the milkman. And that's what we lived on. He does a mean egg dip sandwich. We had no money, so eating that every morning, we'd hide from him. But he was always, when we did get money, he was always the first guy we paid.
Yeah, hide behind the curtain when the milkman came, wanting his money.
Yeah, and then Rick Steen offers us a way out.
Ricky Steen, yeah.
Rick Steen.
Ricky Steen, yeah. It was great, yeah, wasn't it? It was a lifesaver for us because he offered us a place to rehearse and some gigs and a place to live for a couple of months.
Actually, we weren't that hard up, really, because we had to sell all our equipment to get enough money to pay for the ferry to get across to France. But we had a great roadie at the time, wonderful guy, Ginger, who went back to London and went to Vox and said, I think the band needs some new equipment, so we need to promote the band with your equipment. So he got all these new amplifiers, and I think he took them all to France, and then I think we sold them there. But we did get the photographs.
Yeah, Moody Blues, import-exports.
And Justin, how familiar were you with the band prior to you joining? I know John was, because as Graham said, he was around. There was a chance where he was going to be part of it, and then decided to finish school. But for yourself, how familiar were you with the Moody Blues?
Well, everyone was familiar with Go Now because it was such a great record. In fact, it's only recently, I remember hearing the Bessie Banks original at the time because I had spent an evening with Denny Cordell, and who was, did he produce the Denny Cordell? And years ago, and he played me the original version, which was remarkably similar. Yeah. But then I heard it again recently. But I knew Go Now, what a wonderful record it was. Actually, the only things that I can remember as a boy from Go Now must have been Ready Steady Go. And Mike's right hand, he had a ring, I think, on his right hand, and Clint's face, because he had a real kind of craggy face.
Oh yeah.
And somehow Denny's face didn't register, but yeah. So that's what I remember, and everybody recognised that it was just a great record, and I was very pleased to be. I was very pleased. I was to get a call. It wasn't Ray. I think Ray was in some depths of despair about some girlfriend when I.
That's right. Yeah.
But I had a call from Mike Pinder with Graham shouting in the background at a music shop when I was. I'd been with Marty Wilde. I was on my own, keeping a group together, and I was doing folk clubs. And I was in a music shop one day, and I had a phone call from Mike Pinder, and it was like, who? Well, there's that the guy from The Searchers. But anyway, it was a lucky. What a lucky thing for me. What a wonderful thing for
all
me,
of us.
And Mike, and I met Mike. Actually, I met Mike first. And then he charmed me as only Mike could, and it was a wonderful day for me. It was a wonderful day. And then I just tried and get my songs done. I was pushing Fly Me High then, even before I was doing it before I even joined the band.
Well, before we get to Fly Me High, though, you still were doing cover songs.
Oh yeah.
But I find that a bit odd, and correct me if I'm wrong.
That was the deal, that we had to B, we were booked on the strength of the Moody's that John and I weren't in, kind of thing. So we had to keep doing that. And Ray and Mike, of course, were, but Ray strongly resisted doing any of the lead vocals. I don't know why. So he asked me to do.
Because at that time, of course, the Beatles and the Stones, Kinks, they were all doing original material. So you finally got to that where you started to do, and of course the single "Fly Me High," which we've seen now included in the show and seemed to go over very well.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, but I can't say. I mean, I don't. It would not be right to say there was a plan that we had to make our own material. I only knew how to do my own songs. Actually, I wasn't really much good at anything else like Buddy Holly songs, and I didn't think we were a Buddy Holly band. But I certainly wasn't very good at the stuff that the Moody's did before. It was a bit of a puzzle why they picked me, actually, because it was the last person to do that. But when we found our voice, there was an occasion when a guy said to us, came into our dressing room and said, "You're the worst group I've ever heard in my life." And halfway down the M1, the voice from the back, and it was Graham, so he said, "He's right, that bloke." We are. And we got rid of the blue suits, which was rather a shame. I quite like the blue suits.
Look good in them, yeah, you got the figure for them.
Yeah,
Little donkey fellows didn't look so good in double breast.
and then we just did our own material, and then we got an audience of boys and girls that started following us around for our new material, and then things changed for us.
There was an explosion. When Tony Clark joined, that was the last piece of seasoning, and the cake just cooked itself. And some of the songs that Mike wrote, Ray wrote, these two wrote, and the way they all gelled together, it was, I don't know, it was like riding on Pegasus, or a unicorn, or Pegasus with a pointy head, I don't know, but it was, whoa. And the confidence, I don't know whether it was confidence, I don't know if it was conceit, or maybe even stupidity. But some of the things we do, I listen to it now and I think to myself, how the heck did we have the nuts to do that? We just get somewhere in a song and say, okay, and just leave a gap. We'll fill that in later, put a marker through it. And we'll stick a big orchestra and some waterfalls and clouds running, and then we go back into the song, and then we go back and we'd actually do it. Don't know how.
We had a record company of real older, run by older executives that really did say to us, I mean, Sir Edward really did say to us, who owned Decca, Sir Edward Lewis, who was a lovely man, I don't know what you're doing, but get on with it because people seem to like it. And that would just suit us just fine.